Hey everybody, welcome to drinknectar.com. I'm your host, Josh Wade, and this is the internet's place to explore the five senses of coffee and wine. Tonight we're doing a little bit of a challenge. We're doing a Pinot Noir challenge, sort of a blind tasting. I don't know which of these three bottles is in which of these three glasses, but we're going to taste through them and see how good I can pick these out. I have to say as a preface to this is that my experience with Pinot Noir is minimal at best. The first one we have is from California. It's a 2008 Smoking Loon. Picked this up for $8. The second one we have is all the way on a slow boat from Australia. This is a 2007 Jacobs Creek, and this is the reserve line. I believe this one is $16, between $14 and $16. And then last we have the good old Northwest, the premier Pinot Noir region in the United States, considered by a lot of people. And this would be from Willamette Valley Vineyards. And this is a 2007. It's their Tualatin Estate, single estate vineyards, and that is about a $40, $35 to $40 wine. The color of all Pinot Noirs you're going to find is very, very translucent and clear. It's a very light wine, thin-skinned grape. For those people that are kind of making their first foray into a red wine, Pinots are great because they don't have a lot of that bold, tart, tannic back-end structure that turns some people off to red wines, and they tend to be a little bit more on the sweet side. Let's give it the sniff. Immediate hints of strawberry rhubarb. It is pretty aromatic, jumps right out of the bowl of the glass there, gives you an anticipation, which is a great part about the sniff, is it gives you the anticipation of what the sip is going to be. So like I said, it's like a strawberry rhubarb. Some real underlying tones of vanilla in this one, but let's give it the sip. Definite on the rhubarb piece, that kind of tart rhubarb. Have you ever had a strawberry rhubarb pie? That's what this would be like. You've got a great acidity and a nice wash across the whole flavor profile in the mouth. Very pleasing. Slightly sweet on the front end, but not overwhelmingly sweet. Well-made wine. Wouldn't be surprised if this was the Willamette Valley Vineyards, but we'll do the reveal at the end. The middle one here. It is a little more dark than the last wine. Tough to see on the camera from that angle there. You can still see all the way to the bottom, but it gets to be a little fuzzy. My fingers are not quite as clear on the bottom of this one, so more of a reddish purple in color. Let's give it the sniff. A little more challenged on this one as far as the nose goes. Not much coming out. Kind of smoky, smoky in the woods. A little bit of bacon hints coming through. Not like you're just right there by the grill, sniffing the bacon. It's like you're off coming back from a hike. You're coming back and you're maybe 100 yards from the campground, and you just get that whiff that kind of lights up your eyes, and it knows you're going to have bacon here in a few minutes. That's kind of the basic scent that I get on that. Let's give it the sip. Pretty one-dimensional. It's not a bad wine. There's nothing terrible about it. There's no off flavors. It tends to be very thin on the front end, and not a lot of structure and depth to it. It's got that sweetness like you'd expect in a Pinot Noir, a little bit of cherry flavor, but not a lot happening, dynamic. The last wine. Very much the same color structure as the second wine, kind of that jewel tone reddish purple color, moderately clear. Let's give it the sniff. A lot happening on the nose of this wine. Might have me thinking here. Seems to be very dynamic on the nose. Can't quite pick what that is. It's kind of a candied cherry, but it's more of earth driven. That's what it is. It's kind of more rocky soil driven in there. Like you just stuck your nose down in the dirt and you're just picking up some of that earthy flavor. Just mostly like right after a rain, kind of that rainy dirt smell. But let's give it the sip. Overall, This wine does have a lot of interesting characteristics to it. For me personally, I'm not a fan of the woody, earth, dirty kind of feel. It's not horrible, but it does kind of leave me a little dry on that. It definitely presents the most interesting, really, of the three as far as flavor. So if you want something that's going to be, you know, a lot of flavor in your mouth, different kind of scent on the nose, then this is definitely the one to pick it out. But I'm not sure that I'm 100% sold on how it tastes to me. You know, wine is a subjective experience. Give it my thoughtful review here for the reveal. See where we're at. You know, I think that because it seemed so aromatic and had a nice balance and structure to it, really came across with some of the fundamental flavors and aromas that I would expect from a Pinot Noir. I'm going to go with the Willamette Valley Vineyards on the one to your left, my right. And then I am going to, because of the earthiness of it, I'm going to take the Smoking Loon, the $8 Pinot Noir, and put it to your right, my left. And I'm going to take the Jacobs Creek and put it in the middle. First one is the far right. This one's actually the Jacobs Creek. Jacobs Creek, right there. So I got that one wrong, which must mean that this one, I think, is going to be the Smoking Loon. And it is Smoking Loon right there. And then last but not least, I was correct on the Willamette Valley Vineyards. So we've got recommendations here for me. Very interesting experience. I probably should have, with the lack of depth and structure on the middle one. It was more watery and didn't offer a lot. Probably should have went with being the least expensive wine, being $8. The Jacobs Creek surprised me over here. Like I said, it's not something that I typically would go for, the dirty earthiness, but it did offer the most variety as far as the flavor in your mouth and in the nose went. Very interesting on that side. As far as the well-made Pinot Noir, it was pretty easy to tell, to pick out. It had a great balance between the sweet and the acidity and the balance in the back as everything washed away. So it was a well-made Pinot Noir. Wine is always meant to be enjoyed with friends. I want to encourage you guys to open up a bottle, call some friends over, and enjoy a glass of wine, and remember to drink happy.